Hello everyone, this is Crystal Potthoff from Peripheral Arts, and today we're going to do another reindeer egg. We're going to end up with a brown reindeer, but we're going to start with a white chicken egg, and I'm going to walk you through that process. Now I have already lightly divided this egg into 8 pieces, so using my template, and I did the 90 and the 90-60, 2 lines, 1 line going this way, 1 line going that way, and then I drew an equator. Then I measured off an area that was 2 centimeters wide, and I drew in my design for that. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to wax the border design first before we do the reindeer, and in a minute you'll see why. So I'm going to start with drawing my line all the way around. I'm almost there. All right. Now I am going to do a second line that goes all the way around. And you can draw this line in if you want, or you don't have to. And I know these lines are, you can't see the pencil lines that I wrote, but hopefully the wax lines are coming through nicely. All right, so there's that line. Now I'm going to do the other side, and then I'm going to put these diamonds in. And I'll be right back, and I'll have all the diamonds and everything in. So I'm starting to draw the diamonds. I have the double lines on both sides. And because in the US, a chicken egg is generally 8 centimeters from top to bottom, I like to make this band here 2 centimeters. And then I divide it into 4 sections. So I end up with 2 centimeter square-ish. And then that is what I'm drawing these diamonds in. And I tend to draw each diamond separately. And I'm saying that, and I'm kind of missing the lines that I drew. It's okay, fix them up. I'm using the lines that I have drawn on here as like where I need to stop and where it starts. So some of these are more evenly shaped diamonds than others, and that's okay. And in your diamonds, you can put whatever kind of element you want. I'm actually going to alternate, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in those as soon as I finish these up. And I'm doing a lot better with the wax when I'm not talking. All right, so we have all of our diamonds drawn. All the way around the egg. And now, like I said, I'm going to alternate what I put in them. And today I'm using my Luba's Electric with the fine tip, and this is the spaghetti wax from Ukrainian gift shop. All right. So I'm going to put one of the elements I do all the time because I really like this one. It's a cross. It's kind of an 8-pointed star. You can do different things with it. But you start off by making this hashtag, #, tic-tac-toe, and then just make little triangles here. Okay. Now, and the other one, the other alternating one I'm going to do is another version of an 8-pointed star. This one's more like a sunburst. And I'm trying to decide if I think I do want to draw. So I'm going to draw the lines that go all the way like this and this. You don't have to draw them all the way to the end, but in this version I am. And now what I was told was you're making the letter M. So there's an M. And I'll do another one over here. Okay. And then I'm going to alternate that. Now, the other way I could have drawn this was to have only drawn these lines up to this point right here and not extended them. But either way, they both look nice in a design. All right, now, and I'll fill that in. But what I've done is I have lightly drawn the reindeer on here. And I will now, I'll draw it a little darker with the watercolor pencil. And in a minute, you'll see why I've done it this way. So here's my equator line right here. And so I'm going to start the deer. I'm going to start with the body, just the rectangle. And it's going to be a little bit above my equator line. And tail. And then here's the neck. And here's the head. And then I'm going to do the antlers like this on this one. I haven't decided if I'm going to put a little sun up here. I'll decide that later. It might be too much. Now, for the legs, I'm going to do them like this. Now, in the other reindeer that I drew, I didn't want them to appear that they were floating in the air. So I made it look like there was a little snow underneath it. And then this one also had a tree. So they looked like that. Now on this one, I'm going to do something a little different. And I've already drawn the, I've drawn this in lightly with a pencil. So I'm going to do a line with wax that goes right like this. And now when I wax the reindeer, I will make sure that it touches that line. And now I'm going to do another line. Like that. And then I'm going to do a smaller one down here. And how big do I want that? I think I want to do the other line like this. And then down here, I'm just going to put some lines that look like this. Now, I am going to put something in here. And what I'm going to put in there are some more diamonds, but they're going to be littler ones. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to divide this. I learned this from Amelia Randich. It scared me to pieces to just start drawing stuff without measuring. So I've kind of divided that. And now I'm going to divide it again. Maybe I can do one more. I'm trying to make these even without measuring. And then I've got a little line through there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in there and draw some little diamonds. And I'm going to use these lines to help me draw that. And that is a horrible shadow, isn't it? Okay. Okay, lights. All right. So I'm going to start here. And just draw a diamond. Okay, so we've got that. Now, what I need to do now is I need to do this same thing over here, and I need to fill in all of the other things on in my diamonds. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to come back and we're going to work on the deer next. We're going to put color on just the deer and do the deer, and then wash it off, and then do our normal color sequence. So it'll take me a little bit to finish this up, and we'll be back and we'll be working on our deer next. Now the reindeer is, or not the reindeer, but the rest of the design is all on there. And now we're ready to do the reindeer. So I'm going to use my micro brush, or you can use a paintbrush, or you can use a Q-tip, whichever you would like. I'm going to put a brown color on here. You can use you could make your deer pink or blue or whatever color you wanted. But I'm going to make mine brown. But I want a brown, but I don't want a dark brown because I want it to show up against the background color. So I am going to use Nubian Brown from Pysanky USA. And I don't know if this is going to do away with my colored pencil lines a little bit. Okay, it's kind of dissolving my colored pencil lines. Or not my watercolor pencil lines. Maybe I should have used a paintbrush. All right. But I'm going to cover more than just the area that I drew with the watercolor pencil. In case I change my mind, it gives me a little bit more freedom to, okay, in the future I probably should have drawn that with pencil lines rather than the watercolor pencil. Because my lines are pretty much gone. Another, like I said, I'm using Nubian Brown, and this is a Pysanky USA color. There are other brown colors or another color that you can use, and I'll put a little dab of it on here. This is Brick from Ukrainian gift shop, and it kind of looks like that. It's a little more reddish in color. That actually makes a nice reindeer. You could use a gold color. Pysanky USA has a color called Mushroom, which also is kind of a deep gold color. That will work also. All right. So that's good. That'll be good. All right. Let me put the lids back on my jars of dye. lest we have a spill, which I do not want, I have on my carpet, when did that happen? Like several years ago. We were getting ready to leave for vacation, and I spilt an entire jar of orange dye. And when I say getting ready to leave, I mean like leaving the next morning. We were going to Italy, and I was nervous about flying, and so I was doing a little praying, and I dumped over this big jar of orange dye. I tried my best to clean it up, not even thinking, wiping up with paper towels. I did not put gloves on, and my hands were orange. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow and I have orange hands. Anyway, and I cleaned it up as best I could and said, I'll worry about it when I come home. And we were gone for 2 weeks to Italy, and I kind of forgot about it. And then when I came back home and walked in my studio, it's like, oh, yeah, that's still there, isn't it? Okay, I can still kind of see the deer. I can see the outline of it. So I'm going to start with the body. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to draw the body. So we're drawing the rectangle, and then we'll smooth it out as we go along. So there's the body. We'll cover that up. Kind of round it out a little bit. So it's not quite so boxy looking. Okay, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do the legs. We want the legs to touch the leg. Oh, and I see a spot where I missed right down here. Oh, that was the wrong color. Okay, I'm going to have to fix that. Okay, I tried to clean that up as best I could. Oh, I should pay more attention. Okay, so now I'm going to draw the legs, and they were going to be in an X shape. So there's one, and there's the other, and getting them as close to that line there as I can. And then here's this one, and this one. Hopefully that will look okay once I get all the wax on it. And I can make those thicker when I'm done. Oh, wow. Actually, I'll make them thicker right now. Some of our little deer doesn't have legs that are too spindly. All right. So there's the legs. Now we'll draw the neck. And we'll draw the head. And I think I've seen this style in the birds. I think it's called Sankofa. Don't quote me on that. But where the deer is moving forward in life, but looking back so that he remembers where he came from, what he learned as he moves forward. Okay, so I drew that. Now we're just going to draw some simple little antlers. I mean, I could have made them elaborate. If I wanted to do that, I just had to make sure that I had brown everywhere I wanted to do that. All right, now we have our deer. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here, and then I'm going to wash the egg, and then I'm going to dye it in yellow. And then we'll be back, and we'll just, and then, yeah. No, I was going to say we're going to do a normal color sequence from there, but we are going to do one more thing that's a little different. So do the other deer, wash, dye yellow. So I'm back and the egg is now yellow. One thing, when I was doing the second reindeer, I realized I'd forgotten to give the reindeer a tail. So while it was brown, I drew the loop. And then after I washed it back, I filled in the loop. And then I dyed it yellow. So, if you forget the loop, it's not a big deal. All right, so what we are going to do now is add some elements in yellow. Now there's, well, I was going to say there's not any on the deer. It's yellow, actually, but there is some on this part. So what I'm going to do on this front part, I've got my Lubas electric with the fine tip, and I'm going to see if I can adjust this lighting. It's driving me nuts. Okay, hopefully that's better with not as much shadow. Okay. I have a very precarious setup in my studio where things are sitting on top of others, and really hoping that nothing falls down on anything. Okay. All right. So in here, I'm just going to make a little X. Just like that. In all of these. And then here it'll just be like that. That's okay. Okay. Now, in the triangles here, I am going to put, I went back and forth on what to do. I think I'm just going to put some netting in here. So I'm going to draw the two sides of the triangle like that. And then draw some lines like this. And then draw some lines like that. I try to have them start touch down here at the bottom. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. So we'll do this all the way around the egg. I find the netting to be kind of relaxing to do. I don't really have to count while I'm doing it, and then it just lines crossing over each other. I read somewhere this is like a basket. It can be a basket, which is a sign of hospitality, or it can be netting, as in a fisherman's net, drawing all people closer to Christ. Okay, so I will do that there, and then I'll do it on this side. Now, I'm not going to put any yellow in this one, but in this one, I am, but I'm only putting an X, just like that. And then at the bottom, I obviously won't have one here and here. Okay, I am going to do all of the netting, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some green on it for some trees. And but first I want to get all the yellow on it, and then we'll be back and do that step. All right, we've got all of our netting on here, and we have our little X's there. Now we're going to add some green, and I'm going to use a paintbrush. You could also use the micro brush. You could use one of these things if you have them. Not everybody has these little micro brushes. When I bought them, I think I bought a pack of 500. I probably have a lifetime supply. But I'm going to use a paintbrush, and I'm going to dip it in my light green, which is a Ukrainian gift shop color. And I'm just going to paint it on this area where I'm going to put a tree. Now I am using light green over the yellow. And then we'll blot that off. And I think we'll have a tree on this side also. If you had dyed your egg in gold, then you could have also used the turquoise. That makes a very nice green over the top of gold. Or, you know, or I could use light blue too if I wanted to. Oh, and I decided I wasn't going to do the sun. I was just, but you know what? I might do some really tall trees. That would be cool. Okay, well, we'll see how that looks. I might change my mind. I'm going to put this over here. I have, if it's a really small area, I feel like I have more control with the micro brush. But usually that would be because I would have way too much dye on the paintbrush and it would drip all over the place. But if I'm careful and only put a little bit on there, I don't get that problem. So let's just see how well I do, because I'm going to put a little bit of green in here in all of these. This is not the highest quality paintbrush. And I do have a set of paintbrushes that are dedicated to the dyes, because these dyes have vinegar in them, and I don't know what it does to the bristles. So when I paint, I don't want to use these same brushes. And it is okay if I go outside the area. I do want to make sure I have the the whole area covered. Okay, I think this is the last one. And then we will start waxing. Okay. Now I will go rinse this paintbrush off later after I get done waxing. Okay. I'm going to start with this area first. I am going to switch to my extra fine. And in this area, I'm going to put some branches, just like that. Okay, and I will do that on all of them. Now I'm going to go back to the fine, and I am going to draw my trees. Very simple trees. I'm going to have them go, I'm going to do them similar to what I did here. Where they just kind of go up like a straight line up, and this one's going to go right behind the antlers. So when you take the wax off, it's going to look like it's behind now. I know I put the wax over the top of the antlers, but the antlers will appear on top. Now I'm going to make this just a little wider. It probably could be using my medium Kiska, but I've already picked up the fine. It's in my hand. It would be way too much work to take it out, switch it. I'm kidding. It wouldn't be much work at all, but I'm on a roll. So I'm going to do some curly branches on this one. You can do whatever kind of branch. You can just do a straight line, whatever you want to do. On the other one, it had some red berries at the end of it. I think I want these to be a little thicker. I'm not going to put that on this one. On the other one, I was just trying to add a little more color. I'm just trying to. Okay, and then we'll just put a little top knot on it like that. And then we'll just do the same thing over here. It's going to make a... Do I want that one to be... Yeah, let's make this one just as big as the other one. There we go. There we go, swooping around. Curls are... Well, a tree is for everlasting life. And because I'm doing like a swirl with it, this, these things, a curl like this, I shouldn't call it a swirl, it's more like a curl, are a symbol of a ram's horn, which is a symbol of protection. So if you're making one of these as an ornament for someone, you can pray for God's protection. Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay. So I need to do this and the other ones, and I need to repeat over here. And then I'm going to dye the egg in orange, and I'm going to use the Ukrainian gift shop orange. It does not have vinegar in it. So what that does is everywhere that on the green where I don't have it in wax, it will disappear. It will all even out, and it will just be an orange egg. To do that, you have to use a technique. You have to use a dye that does not have vinegar in it. Like I said, the Ukrainian gift shop orange is an example. I know Ukrainian Accessories has a cleansing orange that can also be used. If you don't have any orange like that, you will need to wash your egg off again to get rid of the excess green. But if you're going to use that kind of an orange, you don't need to. All right, we'll be back with an orange egg. Alrighty, we're back, and I have an orange egg. If I didn't like this color of orange, if I wanted a different shade of orange, I could now dye it in whatever orange color I would like. But I would still have to do where I put it in the orange without the vinegar before I could put it in another orange. Because if you put it in an orange that has vinegar, it's going to layer on top of what you have there, and you're going to get some weird shading that you most likely will not want. So that's what we've done. All right, so now we are ready to start waxing in the orange areas. I am going to start with this, and the only thing I'm going to wax in that area is this little space between the diamonds. I'm going to completely fill it in. Just like that. Again, I'm using my Lubas Electric with the fine tip. I could have used the medium too. I'm going to fill in all of this area. Trying my best to pay attention. Here. 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 And one more right. Okay, now I originally I had thought about putting in some dots around here, but I think I have changed my mind. If I do, I'll do them with red, because I've decided I don't want to do them with orange. And the reason is I'm strongly considering using a dark blue for my final color. All right, so I need to do that over there. And now we are going to fill in what we want to be orange on these. So what I am going to fill in is, on these, I'm going to fill in this here and this. That's all I'm going to fill in. That and that. And then down here, oh, don't have, okay, that one there's nothing to fill in because that's where the hole is. All right. Now, in these, is my egg leaking? Or did I just get, maybe I just got dye on my hands. Okay. So in my star here, I'm going to, every other one of the big diamonds, I'm going to fill in with wax. I like that. Right like that. Okay. And then I'll do that on the other ones. And then I am going to, it is leaking. Okay. I'm going to hurry up and do that. And then I'm going to unplug it and let it dry. And then I'm going to dye it in scarlet. And we'll come back. For you, it will just be a few seconds. For me, it will be a bit longer while I let this egg dry. All right. The fun of Pysanky. So after some drying time and a little freezer time, we now have a red egg. This is actually the scarlet from Ukrainian gift shop. I wanted something brighter, so that's what I went with. All right, so let's get started on what we want to be this color. And in this area, the only thing that's going to be that color is, I'm going to completely fill in these. So it had this was the diamond that had the yellow cross in it. And now I'm just going to completely fill it in. All right, got that all done. That's the only scarlet on this side. Now in the band, what I'm going to do is where I put the orange in the area outside of it, I'm going to fill that in. Like that. And then I'm also going to fill in this. And then I'll fill in this. Here. And the 8-pointed star, this version of it is like a Christmas rose. Kind of looks like the sun shining on us. And a Christmas egg, to me, it's kind of a symbol of the sun, S-O-N, coming into the world. And this one. So the 8 star points are all filled in. All right, so I will do that on the other ones. And then here, I'm going to fill in this area right here. All the points. I'm going to leave the center as is, and that will be dyed in my next color, which I have decided is going to be brick. Trying to get, when I do these, I oftentimes, it's like right at the very, very tip. Sometimes I don't get wax, even though I think I did. I don't. Oh, and there I went outside the line. That's what I get for talking. Anyway, trying to be a little more careful there. Okay, so what I did on those two, I need to do on all the rest of them. And then I will put it in the brick dye and we'll come back, and I'm just trying to think, do I want to add something else to the deer, or do I just want to leave it? It looks kind of lonely, but I think I like it. I think we're just going to leave it like that. Okay, I have to finish that red and then dye it in the brick, and I will be back. So I have decided that it's time to take a chance. I'm going to put a little bird that is sitting on the back of the reindeer. I hope this works out okay. So it's going to be a real simple bird. It's going to go like this. That's going to be it. Maybe not even that fat. Or maybe should I have it looking up at the... Okay, this is the way I've drawn it. So let's see, maybe... What if I drew it so that its beak were pointing up at the... Oh, I like that. Can you see that? Okay. That's what this right here. This is what I'm going to attempt to do on this. Okay. Take a deep breath. I'm going to lightly draw it in. How did I do that? All right. Okay. You know what? If it doesn't work, I'll scrape it off. Okay. All right. You can do this. You can do this. Okay. So we want a little body. Comes up like this. Here. Here's the back. Here's the head. There's the beak. What's kind of touching the... Oh, they're kind of kissing. Okay. Okay. That worked out. Yes. Took a chance. Let's put some tail feathers on it so we know that it's a bird. Okay. It looks kind of okay. It is what it is. All right. Okay. Now we will repeat that on this side. Okay, this reindeer is not looking down as much, so they're not going to kiss. But I think that will be okay. Yeah, they're looking up at each other. They're friends. Isn't that sweet? Okay. Okay. I'm going to put that under the magnifier and make sure I got it on there. All right, I feel better about it. Okay. Oh, and I realize I need to wax in that part, and then it will go in the brick. All right, so here is the egg dyed in the brick, and we are ready to wax those parts. So I am going to pull out my Lubas Electric with the medium tip. And where the deer is, I'm going to completely wax in this little area here. All right, like that. And the area here. Okay, and I'm going to completely wax in this area. I toyed with the idea of putting in dots, but I think I would just rather have it be a solid color. So I'll wax that all the way around. Now in here, in the center part here, there's 2 diamonds. So we're going to fill those in. And then I'm going to, where I'd done the red diamond there, I'm going to fill in around here. Right like that. I like this brick color with this color palette. It gives it kind of a warm color or warm feel to it. A rustic feel, I guess. Okay. So this one will be completely covered with wax. This will be covered in here. I do the rest of it. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to wash it off. And then I am going to dye it in a royal blue, which is a Ukrainian gift shop color. And if it's not dark enough, I will dunk it in the black. But because I'm going to need some contrast for the bird, but I think it will look, I'm anxious to see what it looks like. Okay, I have a bit of waxing to do, and we'll be back with ready to take the wax off. Stay tuned. All right, it's looking pretty good. I've got a blue background, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Now, I do have to take the wax off. Have to say, I'm pretty excited that I tried the bird. Okay, I'm going to use the heat gun, and let's see what we end up with. Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. All right, that turned out really good. You can see the deer is like standing in front of the tree. The little bird is there. We got some nice little details. The deer is standing on a nice border. Oh, I'm very excited about it. That turned out great. So there's that one. And there's this one, and then there was this one. 3 different ways to do the reindeer. Lots of fun. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.